thank you all for your courage. I know that this is scary. I know it takes time to prepare all of this. So thank you so much. And just before they take the stage, I will steal a minute. These 4 amazing fundraisers will be in this group called Year-End Fundraising Support Group. So amongst 20 other organizations in the world. And so just keep that in mind, and that there is this year-end support group that will open in October 1st. It's completely free, but this is the place where these 4 people and also other amazing fundraisers are sharing their knowledge, are sharing their experience with each other, learning with each other, from each other, feedbacking each other and everything in this one group during the most intense time of the year for the fundraisers, and of course it's year end. So just keep that in mind. I will talk a bit more about it after these performances. So good luck and thank you again so much. And can we get...
Right, so let's start. I'm basically here to tell you to do the monthly crowdfunding campaign instead of one-time crowdfunding campaign. Because, first time when I heard about all of those tactics, all of those new things, I was like, yeah, it might work, so let's test it. But let's test it with one-time donations, right? Because it's too risky to go full on. And now I regret it. And I hope I had started with doing the monthly donations from the startup. So I hope that I will be able to show you why. So first, a question for you. If you had a choice between those 2 cookies, a big chunky cookie and a smaller cookie, which one would you choose? If you're anything like me, yes. If you're anything like me, the bigger cookie always wins. But, of course, it's a tricky question. Because the smaller cookie is a magical cookie. It self-replenishes. You eat a bit and then it regrows yourself a bit. So these are the actual results from Poland from 2023 crowdfunding campaign. This is the bigger cookie. So 85,000 euros from one-time donations in 2023 end-year campaign. And then the smaller, but remember, magical cookie, almost 5,000 euros in monthly donations. So 5,000 euros in December. But remember, it will continue because it's, of course, a monthly donation. So in year first, it is still smaller, the orange one. It's still smaller than the bigger cookie. So the monthly donations will only start stacking up after a few years, right? And to be fair, we can expect some people that gave one-time donations to be more likely to give another one-time donation the next year. So that's why it is continued single donations on this chart, because, not to be biased, but after those 5 years, I run a simulation and all the numbers are numbering, and this is the result. So after 5 years, the orange cookie becomes bigger because it's magical. And for the more serious people who require numbers to be visible to them, and don't believe my magical cookie metaphor. There are the numbers, all right? So with repeated one-time campaigns, you can see that it is growing a little bit, because I expect that with each year, some people who gave you a year before will be already convinced to give you one-time donation the next year, and you gain experience with the time, so your campaign gets a little bit better each year, right? So it is growing a little bit. But now let's see what happens with monthly donations. Like, the difference is quite visible, right? Because there is this compounding effect. So the donations, repeated donations, stay with you for much longer time, and they start stacking up on each other and propelling the growth. And this is especially true if you have a very good retention program, right? So you can expect people to stay with you for longer time. So in the end, it's pretty clear to me. It's like the numbers show the truth. And I'm a big believer in numbers, but still, I made a decision in 2023 to go with one-time donations instead of monthly. The suspense. And this is all because of this guy. This is the evil gremlin of doubt. Evil gremlin of self-doubt. So I wasn't sure if we could pull this off and if it would work properly. And there's been some resistance, like internally within myself, but also within the team, to kind of do something crazy. And it's a challenge. Like, what you will hear from all the amazing people here, it works, but it's not that easy to implement it, because you have to decide to try something new. But in the end, in 2024, we have defeated the evil gremlin of doubt, and we went with the monthly donation campaign only. So I'm here today to share some learnings that we learned along the way, and hopefully give you the courage to defeat your own little gremlins. So the first lesson was to invest and report. Invest specifically in meta ads, which can be a good source for gaining new donors, reaching them while it's a hot topic because the year is ending. But not only invest, but also make sure to have a very reliable, solid reporting at hand. And it can look like this, like you know from which campaign the donations are coming in, but do not trust Meta.
I agree. We trusted Meta once with ads and we lost several thousand, maybe.
Yeah, it's not the most reliable reporting tool, so make sure to cross-reference with something, at least with Google Analytics. And the best would be to implement UTM tracking. If you don't know what it is, then reach out to us, and we have a guide for that. And it is really cool tool, because then you know exactly that, for example, Alice donated on 2020 December 50 euros per month, and you are able to, have each piece of data at hand. And then you feel more confident into putting the money back into the ads and getting even more and more donors. And I have a question for you right now, because it's not that easy to make a decision where to invest. So let's assume that you have a campaign and an average monthly donation from this campaign is €8 per month. And the acquisition cost of getting this donor is €75 for one donor. So would you want to invest? Like, raise hand if you would invest more in this ad.
Will the donor stay for longer than 10 months?
Depends on your retention program, but usually they stay for like 10 months is... You can expect 10 months even if you don't have any like retention emails or anything like that. So that's the basic, yeah. But usually you can count on much longer. Right, so many of you would invest. What about our speakers? What do you think? Is it a good ad?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope we could keep people for more than 10 months. So, and if we can't, then we should probably invest in the retention. But yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I would be personally very happy to have this result. And if you are new to that, if this is a new concept for you, then this is the tool that we have used in our campaign to easily calculate which ads are doing the best and in which to then invest. The next lesson is don't be afraid to ask for more. And 2024 was the first year that we have done an upgrade campaign. So not only asking new people to become donors, but also reaching out to our existing donors and asking them to give more. And we were very hesitant to do we want to ask people to give even more? Like, they are already donors? Would they be upset about it? Well, they weren't. 9 out of 10 were very happy to at least talk about it, consider it. And in the end, from all the calls that our amazing callers sitting somewhere there, Piotrek and Magda, they had done, 1 of 3 calls ended up in an upgrade. So, of course, some people didn't pick up, some people didn't want that. But
yeah, that's a really good payoff and very positive response.
Yeah, we were very happy with the results.
So people are not pissed off by telling them, you're doing great, you can do more great.
Yes.
We had a similar experience with trying upgrades. I was so scared, but I was so surprised afterwards how well it worked, really.
Yeah, so no, people were not upset and they were quite excited about this opportunity to help animals even more. And overall, 1/4 of our monthly donations in this campaign were upgrades. So 3 of 4 were new donations and 1 of 4 were upgrades. So this contributed a lot to the success of this campaign. Yes, that was about calling. But in emails, we asked for more too. And we asked many times. We sent a lot of emails, and in 2 days of the campaign, we even sent out 2 emails one day. So 1 in the morning and then 1 in the afternoon. And it was actually the best one. So in the first email, we told a story about, hens being in difficult conditions and suffering, etc. And then in the next email, it was like a short update telling people that after my first email, 25 people already decided to become monthly donors, and we're waiting for you. Why are you not there in the donation campaign? And that worked really, really well. So I encourage you to try that.
I might try that this year.
Yes. And what also worked really well was involving major donors and creating phases of the campaign. So you can see some spikes in the donation chart. And these are the moments where the phases of the campaign ended. So with help of major donors, we were able to use the unlocking strategy. So we told people if 250 donors join the campaign, then this major donor will give 25,000 zlotys additionally for the animals. So it was before Christmas, and this is the first spike. And then the second spike, the biggest one, was if 500 people join, then the major donors will give 50,000 zlotys additionally for the animals. And this created real deadlines, and on the website we had a countdown for each phase of the campaign separately, so it wasn't like 31 days until the end of the campaign, but it was like 7 days, 3 days, 2 days, and it was like, it created a real time pressure and motivated people to join throughout the campaign and not just at the end. And that are my major learnings that I wanted to share with you, and a little bit more interesting things will be shared by other speakers. And for the campaign in Poland, if you are interested in more details, then you can scan this code, and there is a document with a summary, and there's also some email copies of our best newsletters, so feel free to use them and share with others. And now I'm giving over to Alise.
Thank you.
One word, real quick. I just want to remind everybody that questions are welcome in the Inventory app. So make sure if something pops up in your head, feel free to ask it, okay?
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Alice from Dzīvnieku brīvība in Latvia, and I will tell you about a year-end fundraiser called Animal Heroes and the 3 great fears our team overcame to get better at fundraising. But first, let me tell you a brief overview of the campaign itself. The goal we fundraised for was to ban the keeping of hens in cages in Latvia. We asked only for monthly donations, and it was also a matching campaign. The offer was that if you set up a monthly donation of at least 10 euros a month, your first donation will be doubled by the matching donor. The campaign lasted almost 1 month, and it also had its own dedicated website. Here you can see some essential elements. There's a countdown timer on it, a progress bar, a recommended amount, a button that tells a story. The text next to the button says you can end hen suffering in cages. And speaking of results, well, we did this campaign for the second time in 2024. And we got 411 new monthly donations. But in 2023, when we did it for the first time, we got 72 monthly donations, which is of course also not bad. But if you compare, in 2024, we got 5 times more than the year before. So what did we do to achieve this big difference in results? Well, first we joined the year-end support group, and also we embraced some tactics that really made us uncomfortable. So let's get to the fears that we overcame. Fear number 1 was calling people. We had learned that it's very bad to start your campaign with a progress bar at 0. You need to have some donors on board before you even send that first email. So to get those few donors, we decided to organize a 1-day-long telefundraising event called a call-a-thon.
What? What?
You know, it's like a marathon, but for calling. But the problem was that our organization did not have a telefundraising department at the time. We just did it ourselves and invited some volunteers. And most of us were introverts with either 0 or very ancient telefundraising experience. But, you know, we just braced ourselves. And this is us during lunch break at the call-a-thon. As you can see, we look quite happy. That progress bar in the middle, we colored each time anyone promised to make a donation, and it was full by the end of the day. So we were 8 callers calling for about 3 hours each. And from that, in the end, we got 56 new monthly donations, which we thought was not bad. So I will tell you a couple things that I think worked well in this to help us achieve this result. First, the results can greatly change depending on whom you ask. So we spent some time making a list of the very warmest contacts we could think of, and those were our ex-monthly donors. On top of the list were people who were donors in the most recent past and with the biggest amounts. And those turned out to be great people to talk to because they already had the donor mentality. They still had warm feelings towards animal protection, even though they had stopped the donation for some reason.
I just want to add, just because I heard from you how well that went last year, I very much intend to do the same as part of our pre-launch this year, using the whole communications team. And yeah, I hope it will go just as well. We're going to do the same kind of warm leads.
Yeah, cool. I'm happy to hear that. So we had those leads and we just called them and explained that they can be the first ones to join the fundraiser before it even starts. And if they join right now, they will inspire so many other people to become donors after the campaign goes public. The calls had very simple structure, and after them we just sent an email with the donation website, and that was it. Okay, so now we had our first donors on the progress bar, and it was time to start sending some emails. But there we had another fear to overcome, and that was a big one. So we had learned that the more you communicate about something, the more important it becomes in the mind of the supporter. So we overcame our fear number 2, asking many, many times. How many? We sent 16 emails in 22 days. Yes, it was scary, but there was one thing that helped us deal with our fear here, and it was this one. Each letter included an option to unsubscribe from the fundraiser only while still staying on the general list. And it worked really well. As you can see here, 7 out of 10 donors in this campaign came from email. And I will also mention one thing about reminders. We have a bunch of people who promise to make a donation but never finish the payment in the end. And normally we'd send them reminder emails asking them to finish it. But at one point near the end of the campaign, my colleague wanted to try out a tactic to send an reminder email and a text message at the same time. The message was very short. It just said basically, "Hello, this is Aivars from Animal Freedom. Thank you for wanting to donate to animals. We can't find your donation, so we emailed you how to finish it. Please take a look at your inbox." And it worked really well. 15 people out of about 200 finished the donation.
That's so cool. Definitely gonna steal that.
Me
Please
too.
do. Okay, but going back to those emails, you might wonder what on earth did we talk about in so many letters. So I will tell you about that. As many of you know, urgency is one of the best tactics ever. So in a lot of those emails, we talked about time pressure points. For example, we'd ask people to join before the campaign goes public on social media, then before the end of December. And then we also extended the deadline for 2 days in January, asking people to use their last chance. And as you can see, donations actually do spike around the time pressure points. This is before the campaign went public on social media. This is the very end of December. And this, the very last day of the campaign.
So the extended deadline?
Yes, we extended the deadline for 2 days after the campaign ended. We just sent an email saying, you know, I hear some other people want to join the fundraiser, so you have still two more days.
Yeah. Okay. We did the same. It works really well. Like people join in at the last possible moment.
Yeah, this was another cool thing I learned in the year-end support group. Yeah, and we also had incremental goals to divide the campaign a little. For example, we'd communicate that there's only 5 people missing to 100 donors, or only 9 people missing to 130, only 7 missing to 180, and more like that. There was always just a few people missing to the next step. Another way to divide the goal was fundraising phases. In phase 1, we'd communicate that we are now fundraising for campaign preparation. Then that goal was quickly achieved. We moved on to the next one, fundraising for campaign websites, then for social ads, then for drafting the legal proposal, then for organizing animal protection events. Sorry. Here I am showing you an example of how it all looked together. This is a beginning of one of the emails. There's a countdown timer in the email itself, a progress bar. You see the phases below. 4 of them have been achieved. Here already we are in the 5th one. Then the rest of the email is a bit of text, a picture, another urgency element with the calendar picture, then the matching offer, and that's it. And all of this allowed us to create a sense of momentum and progress. We used every chance we could to say things like, so many people already joined, this is going so well, progress is being made, the goals are being achieved. And people want to be a part of a successful thing. So each time we said, and the animals still need you, more and more donors kept coming. Here I will just mention a few subject lines of some of the most successful emails. 38 hours left. Your support is important. Got us 27 donors. Urgent. I had an incredible phone call. Got us 26. And last letter also got us 26. And all of these emails were sent very near the end of the campaign. So these people had ignored a lot of letters already before deciding to act on these.
It's interesting because I had a lot of discussions with my superior about like, oh, but we need to stop and people are getting tired. And I was like, I'm telling you, the last emails are the ones that work the best. We're gonna keep going.
Yes, thank you, Christian.
It's you getting tired, not the people getting tired.
Okay, yeah. But we also did another thing, which was the scariest of them all and gave us unexpected results. And it was overcoming fear number 3, asking people who already donate. This was scary because we thought, well, what if they get angry and instead stop their existing donation? But others in the support group were doing it, so we wanted to try out as well. But we went easy the first time, and existing donors got only 5 emails in 3 weeks. We sent them basically the same thing as to everyone else. We just adapted the call to action a little bit. Instead of become a monthly donor, it said top up your regular donation by 10 euros or more. And in the end, 49 people decided to upgrade from those 5 emails, and the emails were sent to less than 500 people. So quite a good conversion rate. And this taught me that you shouldn't be afraid to ask more of people who are already doing a lot, because they can always decline, but some of them may be really happy to be even more needed. And no one even complained that we asked them. And I summarized all the learnings into 3 core lessons from this campaign. Number 1, the best tactics are counterintuitive. For example, sending an email to someone who has already ignored 15, telling people how successful your campaign is, or asking for donations to people who are already donors. More asking equals more donations. It really works like that, so don't be afraid to ask. And good fundraising makes you uncomfortable. So if you're doing something for the very first time and you're not feeling at least a little bit nauseous, maybe you're doing something wrong. But if you do feel trembling inside, just take the leap and see what happens. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right. I am Christian from Vegetarian Society of Denmark, Dansk Vegetarisk Forening. And I think one of the things that I'm here to try to answer, amongst others, is if it's possible to get people to actually commit and donate regularly, or to give more, when you don't have any acutely suffering animals to show, when you're doing a plant-based campaign. But that said, everything will also apply the other way. Well, translated, can you oat milk that grass-fed cash cow? I'm sorry, there will be more, it will get worse. But first things first, I think it's worth mentioning that I have 2 fundraising jobs. So when I'm not doing fundraising in DVF, then I'm telefundraising in Anima International in Denmark. So leaving me only 2 days per week to lift the first bigger end-of-year fundraising campaign, not a lot of time. And on top of that, being a complete end-of-year fundraising campaign version. But as my grandma never used to say, just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean you have to play it safe. So I didn't intend to. And I think one of the most important questions to start off, if you're having doubts about, like, can I fundraise on this, is, well, if you know that your organization is doing great, effective work, why would you think that you can't make other people, your followers and your already current donors, understand the possibilities of what you're trying to fundraise for? I didn't really have doubt of that one. So I was like, I wasn't thinking, can we do it? But I was interested in, okay, how can we make this a lot better than it used to be? So before you start as a newbie, you gotta moisten up the soil a bit and well, fertilize that moneymaker of yours. So what I did was, I was seeing a webinar online with some of these smart girls talking about end-of-year fundraising, and then I was sitting there, where you are, in this room, last year, the panel last year on the fundraising campaign. That was a great start, and then I joined the support group. And read Ole's blog of last year as well, to get started and have a foundation. But importantly, joining the group. Then taking from all those tips, my next step was to convince my superior, no, we are not going to send one email in the 2 days before New Year and call it a day. No, we're not doing that. Brace yourself, get ready. And then I had to push a lot that like, no, I'm planning like 30 emails or something. And he was like, this fear in his eyes. My next step was to invite the colleagues, like to broaden it out, say like, you are all fundraisers. This is everyone's fundraising campaign and I'm going to need you. So I'm going to need you to talk about your work and to relate it with this thin frame. Our goal was to get an EU plant fund, like we have a plant fund in Denmark that finances the most effective ways to transform to plant-based meals on a state level, and we wanted to have it on an EU level and other nations. So kind of a complex matter, but still carried on. And then what you're gonna do is bet on your best oats. And that of course means you're going to do a pre-launch. No, that was not a question. You're going to do a pre-launch, god damn it. But before that, we did something else. We did like a -1 phase, which was we reached out to our best donors of all times and said like, you guys are really important, and will you compile a match fund internally so that we can make other people step up and actually show that this matters? Like, will you make people step up by stepping up? And then we went on to phase 0, the pre-launch. We asked everyone in the middle donor program that I had established just months prior. It's like for the best donors, and that they get some special treatment in a special brand. Yeah, we asked those, and we also asked the people who had been invited to the middle donor program but had not reacted. I'm gonna get back to that, but that was altogether just like 300 people. 100 people in the program, 200 invitees, and out of those 300 we got the first 27 upgrades and 3 big donors who became regular donors. So that was a pretty good start to do the milking of the oats. That is, we went on to the phase 1, to the main launch, and in that we made sure to elaborately paint the grand vision that we had and try to say like how big is it gonna be if we have an EU plant fund? What potential could this have? And trusting that with a thorough, long, elaborate emails, people would actually grasp this potential, and they did. We also made sure to say like, we can't do this without you, of course. So you guys are really important. And then a small trick, like resend to non-openers, like a basic thing, and it worked pretty well. We got another 40 new regular donors from that, and 71 upgrades just from main launch, and this was actually like just 1 or 2 emails and follow-up. And with that, we could actually move on to phase 2. This is where I brought in a lot more project leaders to relate their work to what it would mean if they scaled up to, like, what if you had an EU fund, plant fund, and you could do your work, copy that in other places. So for example, one email was about how we make plant-based defaults in big conferences and big meetings, and saying to like, Adam, please let them know how many million meals could this mean if Germany did the same thing. And this kind of storytelling, this kind of like going deep in their work and then relating it to the goal, it worked pretty well. We of course I took the tips that you had just been presented with from Alise and Ola. So by the end of phase 2, it looked like kind of like this. I would say this many people have joined already. This is how many people we need altogether. And then we're currently just 18 members short of what we need to have this plant fund. And then making sure they knew also the match fund and how much that released if they joined. So yeah, all that together worked, and we got an additional 24 donors and 19 current donors to upgrade. And with that, we actually got to pass the goal of what we had said we needed for the plant fund and moved on to another project in phase 3. But before I get onto that, I will just talk a little bit more about upgrades. So this particular email was the one I sent in the phase 0, in the pre-launch, to the people who did not react to the invite to my middle donor program just in August last year. So they did not react, they did not upgrade or donate more back then. And then in December, they got this email starting, I don't know if you know, but you are truly among DVF's most loyal and faithful creators and co-creators of change, of our work. That's why you get this email before most others. And I think both the making them important, making them proud, but the whole before most others is like, oh, I'm special. So that worked really well, and 11.7% upgraded just on this one email. So like, I think like if you have 11.7% click, that's good, but it was 11.7% that actually went and upgraded. So I was really happy to see that. And what I think I'm most proud about maybe is this super simple slider. Because you could definitely choose, if you have the manpower. I had only 2 days a week. My IT guy was super busy. So, for example, I didn't have a timer in my emails. I didn't have time to implement that. But still, like, you can still go do a lot. And we didn't have time, for example, to look into a form that would have a personal link and people's name, and then adding 20, 50, 120% to what they give already. And good luck finding out how to navigate the CRM system and knowing if they have one or two of many subscriptions and so forth, to which one is it going to choose, and connecting it to the CRM. That's not what we did. We did this. We have a simple slider. People put the email. Once they've completed, I get a copy. I upgrade it manually. But the genius thing is actually the slider itself. We put a default very low on the bar, but that was way higher than what people normally give. And then it went really high, like we're talking €100 per month for the end, which means that it not just people to go higher, because it doesn't seem that crazy to give 20 or 25 or 30 euros per month. So a lot of people gave surprisingly much more than I had expected. It worked really, really well. And I think the most important thing was to give people full autonomy. Like, I'm not going to tell you you have these 3 options, because no matter how deep you dig in your data, you don't know what this specific person can give. So giving people full autonomy to say like, okay, I can actually give more, and I'm super motivated. So in this case, don't trust your data so much and give people autonomy over the upgrade.
You convinced me. I want us to do it this year. And that's like small detour, like that's the best thing about what's happening like here on Care, but also on the support group. Like, you started by copying me, and now I will copy you, and then next year someone else will add on, and that's how we find new ideas and be even more amazing. And that's so cool. Like, oh my God.
Thank you. For the website, both of them had a progress bar. It was pretty simple. So so it followed the phases, of course, so that we didn't start at 0. We had the pre-launch to make sure of that as well. But yeah, the phases made sure we were always pretty high, and we also rearranged the donations, like biggest first, and adjusted the amounts before we launched.
So you had 2 landing pages, right? One for upgrades and one for people who are not donors yet.
Yes, exactly. We had those 2. One for regular donation / membership, and one for upgrades of current members. So as I mentioned, we got the first goal. We happened to get another match fund in, and we focused on health. That was educating dietitians and doctors so they can consult better on plant-based food instead of saying bullshit. And we did that for the last 10 days. Unfortunately, it was like insisting on only donations until New Year, but we got all the donations, so that was like a new spark that made it go fast all the way to the end. And for a small organization that used to send one email in a end-of-year campaign, I think we landed in a good place. 115 upgrades, an average of, in this case, 17 euros per month extra per month. And 102 new regular donors, and then 2 match funds, 1 internal, 1 external, and the donations that came along. Altogether, it was like 70,000 euros the first year. So I'm pretty content. Thank you. And try to summarize what worked. And first thing is like empower your co-creators, as in your followers, your donors, in making that change, make them see that they're important. Always do it pre-launch. Cannot stress that enough. And make it personal. Like make sure that you're using a good storytelling and speaking directly to the donor from the project worker, from the campaigner in your case, maybe. Make people proud of enabling that vision and being part of it. Do a slider instead of telling people what to upgrade to. And finally, know the worth of your organization. If you know that you have good work, you can also communicate with confidence that it's great, so that it is easier for people to follow where you want to go. So in conclusion, yes, you can oat milk that grass-fed cash cow of yours. Or said in boring, yes, you can apply all the animal advocacy strategies for end-of-year fundraising campaigns and apply them to plant-based campaigns as well. To round off, actually right now we're doing kind of a summer edition or a long edition. We have this new match fund and a new concept that honestly is really smart. The sooner people join, the more months that they upgrade, or the more months that they are a new donor, we're gonna have that amount. So if they join in July and pay, we get 7. July, that would be 6. But and if they join in September, it's going to be 4. So the sooner the better. And it's just started, but it's going pretty well with the first emails and other 80 upgrades and 75 regular new donors. So you can actually do end of year all year. And as I mentioned, like this year we're going to do I'm going to drag in the communication team and do win-back calls, and I also want to improve our flow for unfinished donations, just like Alice said, with the SMS and email at the same time, and hope that I'm sure that it will make it even better. That's all for me.
Okay. So you heard all of the campaigns, all of the technical details, what worked, what didn't, basically everything. Even I am tired right now, because even though we had like 5 rehearsals, I'm always concentrating on everything that everyone says, so even I'm tired right now, and I will try to not repeat the tactics that work, because we just use the same as you all heard right now. So I would like to talk more about other things, more soft skill things, and with the title, which is the one most important thing in your first end-of-year campaign. So last year we did a campaign, Chicken Defenders, and our call to action was become chicken defender and help them stand on their feet, because they are raised the way that their bodies are so big that they can't even stand on their own feet. And this campaign was quite successful. I will get to this later. But I will tell you how I got into the decision to make it. Because I was exactly like you, sitting right there last year on CARE. And the girls had the brilliant presentation about how did they do it and so much excitement. And it was actually my second day in OBRAZ as leader. So at the dinner, or basically at the after party, we talked with Aquila and my new boss, and she was all excited, like, are you gonna do the end of year campaign? And Marek, my boss, after 2 days said, I don't know, that's Petra's decision. So
No pressure.
yeah, exactly. So that was quite, I was quite hesitating because there are a lot of pros, of course. The result, I mean, I can step up as a leader and have the results like very quick and everyone will love me for it. But I also can fail and my reputation won't be very good, you know, and your first campaign is a huge fail. You are very worried about it. So I made a pros and cons list. And it was not only me who had a fear, it was mostly my colleagues who had a lot of assumptions according to this campaign. For example, that chicken don't interest anyone. I'm thinking, so why did we do a whole campaign about them and the advocacy and everything if no one is interested, but okay. And many others, for example, yeah, we don't have any new contacts, we don't have this, we don't have that. But I will get to the fears later. It was like my fear to 10 fears of others, of my teammates. But then I had to make the decision, and there was basically 2 things that helped me the most. The first thing is what Aquila said, actually, that their campaign was so good because they wanted to learn from it, and because they had the specific approach, which I will talk about right now. And the second thing is, it's not going to be 0 or 1, meaning that it's not going to be 0 when you gain 0 donors and it will be epic fail. And it also won't be 1, like you get so many donors that you can step up from your fundraising career because you have so much for the rest of your life, right? So it's not gonna be 0, it's not gonna be 1, sorry. It will be somewhere in between, and it's your action that decide where it will be. So I would like to mention the approach more. So yeah, you probably know that I decide, yes, we are gonna do it. And the approach that I want to talk about is something like trial, because you know the Netflix, Spotify trials, they basically, you can sign up for them, but you don't need to pay. No expectation, just try, you will see if it works for you. If it doesn't, nothing happens. So we made it that way. And to get back to the title of this presentation, I think the most important thing is the mindset. Wow, such a cliche, I know, but let me add some value to it. Because when you have that mindset, you release the expectations that you have of yourself and of your team, and you put the joy, the happiness, the passion first, and then everything is easier if you do that.
I just want to add that we actually had a similar mindset last year. We also set a goal of 100 donors and just wanted to learn every tactic we could, and that really helped, because then you can't really fail because you're gonna learn anyway.
Okay, so you see it's not completely shit what I'm saying right now. This is the social proof that you all need it. So with the trial mindset, it was my mindset, but it was of course a little hard to convince everyone. And so I had some arguments for why to do the fundraising campaign, and they are in Czech language, so you still need to listen. And I had basically 4 arguments, and the first one was trying the successful framework, which works for other organizations. Second one was getting fundraising know-how thanks to the framework, thanks to the participation in the year-end group. Third one was because everyone was saying, yeah, the ones from our context who wanted to donate, they already did. So the third argument was, we will see, we will find out that information. And the fourth thing, like at last, yeah, we also may gain some donors. So you see the result wasn't the top of these arguments, and I think that's the essential of this approach. And I want to go a little back on the fears, because there are some things that you really should fear, and then there are some things that you shouldn't. But I mean that you shouldn't fear, but you should somehow recognize that these things are important. And the first, most important, is basically you and your approach, your mood, everything, because you are the leader of the campaign and you will basically need to cheer up the whole team or get them on board, which takes me to your whole team. It's super important to get them on board and to know why you're doing it, why are you doing this campaign, how can they basically join you in a productive way. So many of these things, it's very important for your team to be in that with you. And then your organization, it shouldn't be only fundraising team, which is concentrating on this campaign. You should also work with your colleagues from other teams on this, so everyone is on board. But then there are some things that you should not really fear about, and that it's if your supporters will give or not, meaning that you can't decide for them, you just will see and will optimize regarding the results. And also how many people will unsubscribe. You don't need to fear about that, because I can tell you now, it will be a lot. So, but you can't really do anything about it, and just think that if you have in contact list someone who sees a fundraising email, doesn't read it and unsubscribe, that was probably not the biggest supporter of yours. So it's okay.
Exactly. I've been arguing again with like pushing back and forward that yeah, we might lose some people, but actually those people that unsubscribe, they were never going to donate anything anyway. And I also remembered and took that to my campaign, was Aquila saying that, wait, that was what you said. That was exactly what you said. No, but no, yeah, I think it's really important. Like those people are the least important followers. So now I know what you said. You said like you said that if you do a good email, people are going to react. So that's where people are going to donate or unsubscribe. Like if you have no people unsubscribing, that means it wasn't a really good email, because not many people are going to donate at the same time. So like, you need to write emails that actually provoke people or get them up the chair, or however you want to put it. So unsubscribes is correlated with how many donors you get.
Yeah, we also have that experience that the most successful emails are also the most the emails where the most people unsubscribe. So there is some correlation. And also you shouldn't worry about what other organizations are doing, because we also had some other organization in Czechia which also was doing this fundraiser campaign. And colleagues of mine told me, yeah, but people will see it, like we are somehow coordinated, we are doing the same thing. Oh my God, no one mentioned it. And if you are not having the same title of the campaign and not using exactly the same copy, I think you are fine. And regarding the fears, it's important to not just let the fears, to not just have them somewhere back in your head, because then they are even bigger. It's good to just write them out somewhere, to write some write some plans, some steps you could do, even for those fears of your teammates. So they are not as big as they might seem if you only overthink them. So to the results, we got 350 regular donors, which was the second highest month-to-month increase in OBRAZ history. We got more than 30 donors from one email, and you know who wrote these emails? It was a chicken, and his name was Bertík, chicken from large-scale farming. And we also had doubts that this approach won't really work, that nobody will really believe that chicken writes the emails, but actually some people even replied to those emails, "Hi Bertík. I'm so sorry that this keeps happening for you." So again, it was like first and last emails, we got more than 30 donors from them. And then somehow, and this is like bonus, sometimes I feel like the supporters have like more passion and motivation than us because we are in it for so long, and they just see one email and are wow. And these two emails, they were basically the ones that it's so great that you care about these animals that no one really cares about, which was our narrative, which goes a little against the social proof. Like when no one cares about them, why should I? And we were scared to try it, this narrative, but it worked. And people were like, okay, no one sees them, so I will see them, the chickens. And the second email was, thank you for the email, or I mean many emails. You are persistent, and in this case, it's okay. I will become a regular donor. So to close this great panel, I really think that the one most important thing in your first year-end campaign is to think about you, your team. It's to make the trial approach, to have no expectation, but also be prepared for a great success. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, I can't. I keep smiling. Thank you so much. You were also very active with the questions, actually. Thank you for engaging. Could you now please go and upvote some that are most interesting to you? Because there are so many. So I just want to see which ones you are most excited about.
Bring it on.
What?
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Okay, 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, so there are more than a couple of questions regarding the many emails a day even. And there was one, did you send 3 emails a day? Would you?
I would. I haven't, but I would. I will try this year. It won't be me. It will be like Magda there, but it's a challenge. Magda's nodding. She's up for it. We'll let you know the results next year.
I was planning to send 2 on the last day, but one thing we completed 2 match funds, and we got the money we were looking for, with less emails than we thought we would need. So I had more in store. I had a reserve of emails, but we ended up not really needing them because people responded really well. So we could have milked it more. I had planned 2 emails for the end. We only sent 1, and I had to push yes, we're gonna send another one, right? But I would wanna send 2 on the last day, and then extend it to January, a few days. Go more rogue and listen and let the boss not decide.
We had also sent only 2 emails on the last day, but I might send 3 this year. You gotta step up the game.
Okay, thank you so much. Christian, the most upvoted question is actually for you. How big was your mailing list for this end of year campaign?
Right. So altogether, the full thing is 17,000. But that's divided like 4,000 current members and then about 13-something thousand non-donors. So of course they got each their version of every email. One was to become a member and one was to upgrade. So different call to action in the end. But 4,000 plus 13,000.
Okay. Okay, Philip asks, maybe I missed it, but I am interested in how you got numbers, emails of potential donors in the first place, and if there are different ways to collect them, which method to acquire contacts was most useful? Maybe.
Yeah, we use declaration pages, so something similar to petitions, but it's more general. Like, for example, we have a Furban declaration, and people go to the website and they say basically, yes, I want to join the fight to ban fur farming in Poland, and they input their name, email, and phone number, and then they confirm their email, and that's it. And one interesting thing, before we have used petitions and we had evil checkboxes there on the website, so people had to choose, yes, I want to receive emails, no, I don't want to receive emails, and so obviously like 2/3 of people didn't want to receive emails, or they just, haven't looked at the checkbox, so by default they didn't agree to newsletters. But with the declaration, they are like, yes, I want to join the fight, so this is already declaration that yes, I want to receive those emails because I need to know what to do to help animals. And there were some fears around implementing that, but the numbers are numbering. I mean, we jumped from 100,000 leads to 100, almost 50 right now during the last half year, I think. So, yeah, that works. And also collecting numbers, phone numbers on all of your forms. Really recommend starting to do it as soon as possible.
We also use petitions mostly, and also with no checkboxes. We just have a privacy policy that you agree to receive emails, to be contacted if you sign it, and you can unsubscribe at any time.
Okay, thank you. If you send so many emails out during the year end, telling people they need to donate now, can you still send out successful emails throughout the rest of the year?
Yes.
Yes.
Does anybody want to elaborate?
But
we did give them a break in January, kind of, but
no.
but you don't have to. But also, several of you have tried launching a new fundraising campaign just months after, right? And it's going just as well. So all the story about people are tired. Like, yeah, you might have some people that say like, it's enough now, but okay, then take that special person away and send to everyone else. No, keep going.
You know what? That's recently I looked at our numbers throughout the years, and like a few years back when I was starting, we used to send like 2 emails per month usually, and now it's like 2 per week, more like. And you know what happened with the open rates? They have increased by 10 percentage points on average. So people are opening more because there is more things to open, and they remember about us because we are constantly reminding them about us. And that's basically it. Like I wouldn't be afraid of this intense communication during end year to impact your mailing list negatively throughout the year. I think it will be the opposite, actually.
Nice, thank you so much. Alice, this one might be for you. About the call-a-thon, why did you decide to send a follow-up email with a fundraiser link rather than ask supporters to make the donation while on the phone with you? Didn't it lower the conversion rate from calls?
I think we just didn't have the opportunity, like the technical side of it. I have heard some other organizations can implement it, like where you just press some buttons while you're on the phone and you become a monthly donor, but we just couldn't do that. Of course, we could ask them to go to their computers and type the address, but basically the easiest way was to just send them an email. That's why we did it. Yeah. But one important thing is to try to agree with them when they will look at the email, to ask them to do it right after the call if possible. Just ask them, when can you look at the email? Can you do it right now after you end the call? That will greatly influence how many people actually do it.
Thank you. About Anima campaign. Would knowing that 80-90% of the donations goes into buying advertisements discourage people from making donations?
Okay, no. I get where it's coming from, but actually, when you think about it, having more monthly donors, monthly supporters, is the best way to help animals right now. One of the best, what people can do, because usually monthly donors are also the most active participants of our mobilization campaigns. So they then click around and send emails and comment on stuff, and they become really, really engaged. So if, for example, I make a monthly donation to a campaign, and then a major part of it from my first year of my donations comes to get even more people on board, then that's super nice. If for my donation, a couple of more people join in, then that's the most efficient use of those money, because then the animals have more and more supporters, and it continues to grow in expedited way. And that's how we build a movement, basically. We need more and more people, because a couple of thousand monthly donors for a country like Poland, which has 40 million people, what is that? We need more.
Very much agree. If you said with big letters okay, just know that the first 10 months of your donation will be directed back to ads that to tell people to also donate. Maybe people wouldn't think that was the sexiest thing to ever, and so super encouraging. But what your job is to make sure you have the most extra money to do more work for animals or for plant-based for animals. And if you have a million money and you just spend all of it on your projects, right? Great, and you can say we spend everything directly, or you use 10% on 20% on investing, and then you end up with 2 million. Okay, so you spend 20%, and you also spend 20% of the second million, but it's growth, right? And that's your job, so that we can do more work.
Yeah, this year is actually the first year when our monthly donation income exceeded one-time donation income. So you have to wait a bit for the effects. It wasn't like that last year, but it is now, and I expect it will just continue to keep growing. And as for like stating where the money exactly will be spent, like for petitions, for example, or declarations, we sometimes like explicitly ask people to give one-time donation if they're already monthly donors, and we ask them give additional donation to so that more people will join the fight. So it is explicit. Like you can even count how many people for how much money will you get to this landing page and get them to sign, and it works well. So sometimes being explicit can work as well.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay, now one of the most upvoted questions is quite long. How do we go about attracting donors as the first, only, and small vegan animal rights organization in a non-EU, small, rather poor country? Now we collect donations on an as-needed basis for some event or other. Monthly donations are hard for us so far. We have 0 donors, and we have no people on salary to manage a consistent campaign. Thank you.
Well, there's one benefit to not being in the EU right now. You can do ads after October, can't you? So that might be a benefit, but of course, if I know people on salary, so I understand like there's not much money to invest. But like, so it seems super risky, of course, to go for ads. But you could join the support group, and then there are people who know a lot about ads and who has QR codes to scan for a UTM scraping tool and stuff like that. So you can have a good base, so you are fumbling less in the dark. But that would be still one way to grow.
Yeah, I would say, sorry, but I wouldn't go for ads as the first thing. I would maybe recommend to look around you, not like you're not right now, but look around you. You have, I guess, volunteers. You have the people that do the work, even though right now it's not paid. So go to these people first. They should be the pioneers of this project as a regular donors. So the people that work there, the volunteers, and then the people closest to you. These are the ones that will be the first, and you want them to be the first.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But also, yeah, and those people, ask them to get peers in, right? Like, so if you have a good volunteer base, they become regular donors, ask them to get 10 people each to become regular donors. I think that's a good way to start as a small new organization.
Yeah, and start growing your mailing lists as well, because newsletters are the most converting and phone calls along them. So start small, but start thinking about, preparing for like maybe 2026 year-end campaign with, maybe 1,000 leads under your belt, and definitely come talk to us. I don't know who asked this question, but we can advise you maybe more in details about how to go about all of this.
Yeah, and definitely join the support group. There will be newsletters shared that you can basically just steal.
And actually, just to do this, I don't know, not quiz, but how many of you actually donate regularly to your own organization? Oh, that's super cool. That's a lot. Cool. Nice. Okay, we have still a couple of more minutes, okay? So let's go quickly through some less upvoted questions. Still, there are a lot. Do you ever do crowdfunding? Maybe linking it with monthly donor option?
Once again?
Do you ever do crowdfunding? Maybe linking it with monthly donor option?
I don't know what's the difference.
Anna, do we have Anna here?
You do know what crowdfunding is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so on crowdfunding, that whatever project. Like imagine that you want to do a mural, and for that project you want to collect, I don't know, 10,000 euros. So on the right side you can choose the amount, and then sometimes they link to what is it which you kind of like offer them in return. And I was wondering that, I'm so excited about this, that people can have their name written on the mural on the side, like the frame, and then if they want that, then they should become a monthly donor. So, you know, like that would be the price of it. Because usually it's like, I don't know if you know Conspiracy, they did like a crowdfunding campaign for their whole movie, and it had like different options on the right side of what is it, what you know, the amount, and what is it in return. And one of them was that you can become a co-producer. It was quite a higher amount to do that, and it was really sort of like scratching my ego, and I was like, I want to be a co-producer. I want my name on the movie and said that I'm a co-producer. So I chose that number because I was told that I can be sort of, I don't know, be part of that movie so strongly. And that's why I thought like if their name is on the frame of this mural, then this is something which then they would have to pay a bigger amount, not just like, I don't know, 15 euros or 50 euros, but like become a monthly donor.
Okay, so we offer eternal glory and joy of being regular donor. No, but also I wanted to add that we didn't actually talk about it as much, that all the campaigns like Chicken Defenders, Animal Heroes, it was the title that you are Chicken Defender or Animal Hero, which we then used. So I would say that's kind of the way that we do it, that this is very like successful movement that you want to be in, then you donate and you are in. So that's basically somehow similar to what you're saying.
Yeah, and there are also like, for example, Alise, you had like phases that were like for drafting a legal proposal. So that's why I was confused, like because that's basically what we do, but without those like maybe physical part of adding a name on the mural or on the in the video. But the formula is very similar. We have landing pages on our own website, so we don't use any external platforms for that. We build our own.
We've also used our own priorly, but my task was, what I saw as my important task was to go away from saying we need 300,000 kroner to get this going, and instead say we need this amount of regular donors that will keep making things happen and who are the core of the organization. So like instead of having like only a monetary goal and give a donation or give a big donation, like the regular part was really important, because that's what they have done in the Vegetarian Society until December last year.
Okay, and another one. What are your thoughts on the tension between social proof and the narrative "you are special"?
I don't think it contradicts. Like, you are special as a person, so that's why you are needed to join this, because this is a success. Like, it works well together. Like, if you read the emails examples that we are like sharing freely, then it really clicks. Like the copywriting magic makes it happen.
Nice. Thank you so much for answering. Thank you so much for the questions. I will answer one question that was, could you share the name and link of the group you all mentioned? So that is what I will answer real quick. Where's the no? Real quick. So the year-end support group. So you can see my email here. You can write to me to get some useful materials to help you think about preparing for your year-end. But you can also scan this QR code and go to the website with where you can find more information about the year-end support group. We all start on October 1st, and it's super amazing because now there are 24 organizations who already actually joined, and that means that more people, more brain will help you actually with your year-end fundraising campaign. But there's a but. Only apply if you really want to do this, right? We need like really proactive people who are there to learn and take things from it and give their feedback to other people, right? So if you really want to do it, please, you can reach out to me or you can scan the code and apply, and I will get in touch. And again, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for sharing. This was super entertaining and super amazing. Just thank you so much.